Hey everyone, my name is Sango Baruti. Today I'm going to be talking about my public speaking assignment. Um, the first part is asking, like, what's my personal reaction to this assignment in public speaking? What I would say is, well, growing up, I wasn't really confident in speaking to the public. I was usually the shy type, but as time has gone by and having to realize the field that I've picked and I want to work in, I have to face my fears, or rather work on it in order to improve my skills when it comes to communicating, because I know communicating is going to be a big part of my life as a health educator, because I know every time I'm going to have to come across people or a person. So for me to be able to get a message across, or to be able to be understood by them at a personal level, I'll have to increase my communication skills, or rather work on them to be better. All just depending on wherever you want to work at, because if it's school or community health facilities or workplaces, you're gonna meet people, and so as a health educator, I'll have to work on that. And I've seen an improvement so far as having to stand in front of people and talk, because some of my classes require that too. So yeah, and I'm a musician part-time, so that also helps, because you have to engage with the crowd when you're singing, or with people watching you. You can't just sing throughout. You're gonna make them feel feel like they're with you. So yeah, that's my first part. My second will be why I think public speaking is important. Well, it's really important to me as a health educator, because I was an aspiring health educator, because firstly, when it has to do with like the interviews, job interviews and everything, I'll have to show all my skills, like when it comes to body language, fluency, eye contact, confidence. Everything plays a part when it comes to that. So in order for you to give your employer the mindset that you're fit for the job or the qualifications, you gotta have to meet certain needs, and I think communication plays a big part of that. So yeah, I think it's important in that sense. Also, since we're gonna be advocating for health, having to know how to communicate with the people shows that you have a passion for what you're what you're advocating about, and what you're informing them about. So, in order to engage with the people, and be able to change their certain lifestyle, or having to deal with their personal issues, and because you got to make the issues your own in order for you to be able to help them solve it. Yeah, so I think it's a very sensitive and a crucial part of health educators' lives. And yeah, it's just a sacrifice that you have to accept and deal with in order for you to work in such a field. Yeah, at the end of the day, we're dealing with people's health, and we're wanting to educate them of something that they're not aware of, you know. So you gotta have to know how to talk to them and how to get your message across. For example, if you're trying to talk to somebody about safe sex, you can't just start off with like a judgmental statement, or you cannot be biased. For example, if you're a certain religion and the person is of a certain religion, you cannot just get all religious according to what you know about your religion. You gotta be in the middle and know how to advocate for health in a proper and professional, by unbiased way. So yeah, I think it's very important when it comes to all that. Okay, and also yeah, and how would I plan to improve on this? Well, first of all, so far I've learned that you gotta have to know your audience and know the people that you're talking to, and what can I say? You're gonna have to learn them. Yeah, you're gonna have to learn them and know how they are in order for you to blend in with the audience. So, as as well as health educators. When you're being sent out to a certain location, you have to know the statistics, and you have to know what kind of people they are. You have to know what kind of their beliefs, so that you will know your target and your focal points when it comes to getting them to engage in whatsoever you're presenting to them. So I feel like yeah, that's will be a way to improve communication skills. Also, maintaining eye contact, that plays a big role. Maintaining eye contact and body language, that those two will give your audience a picture of whether you're confident and you know what you're talking about, or whether you're not. You're just gambling with your words. So those two, to me, are very important when it comes to public speaking, and they have to be maintained. Also, confidence in your speech and what you're talking about. Because when you're appealing to somebody, when you're going to somebody and explaining or informing them, you have to have a confidence in what you know, and for you to be able to encourage them to believe what you're telling them. So, yeah, that also. In order, also, like, you have, when it comes to that too, what I'll say, make sure you support it with like knowledge and resources, because sometimes you might come across people who are also like experienced or professionals, or they're not just amateurs. So you have to know what you're talking about. You have to have resources. You have to be knowledgeable. You have to be well read and prepared for all that. Yeah, and I got like a few tips from a site that kind of tells us or encourages people on how to be able to be a better public speaker. One of them will be like to plan appropriately, like to plan your work appropriately, use resources, use a library, and know how to put everything in order and not just mingle everything and jumble everything around. Also, learn how to practice. Practice in your bedroom, practice in front of the mirror, practice in front of your siblings, in front of your parents, in front of your family, and get their feedback. That also helps, because they're gonna act as audience. Also, learn to engage in your audience. Don't just read throughout. That goes along with eye contact. Don't just read and go on and on. You gotta make them feel engaged. You gotta make them feel like they're part of your speech, so that it also helps me or the speaker, because what makes us more nervous is when we're just reading and people are like, okay, what are you talking about? But once we get them involved, it becomes like we're part of it, and we're part of the speech. So that therefore there won't be much judging, because everybody's involved. Yeah, I think that helps me too. Sometimes I start off like with a question or a story of my personal life, and then all of a sudden everybody gets involved, like, oh, they all start laughing and giggling, like, okay, now they're getting confident. Also, like, paying attention to your body language. Certain things that we do on stage, we are not mindful of. We do them like unconsciously, but it gives a message that we're not confident or we're nervous. We gotta have, that is not good. You gotta have a certain sense of confidence in what you're doing. Because I remember when I first started like singing, I was not as confident. So because I'm part of a band, so when we're about to tell them, like, everybody, let's stand up on our feet as we're about to sing, you cannot just say it with like, I don't know, you gotta say it like you mean it. So not really like you're commanding them, but like you're confident. Let's all stand on our feet, more like, let's all stand on our feet. They'll be like, okay, who are you? Yeah. Also, like, the last thing would be like to watch recordings of your speech. Like, record yourself every time you're speaking in front of the public, and then later on you go back to it and see what you did wrong, or what you did right, or what you need to improve and everything. Yeah, that will be it for now. Thank you all for listening, and have a rest of your day. Enjoy.